The pub is open. Episode 43. How crazy is that? And so many things going on. So many things. Most importantly, it was, where is she? Queen Stevie's birthday. She was 73. I posted my favorite video on Twitter, which is a backstage version of Wild Heart. In some business matters, some of you, one of you said something shitty about paddles.
Yeah.
And, yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? Without paddles, there's no show. So, and I appreciate the other termites who told that person. I mean, you're allowed to say whatever you want. I'm just saying, be nice. Yeah. Be nice to paddles. There's no paddles, there's no show. Because I can't do this shit by myself. I can barely even get all this stuff on my desk. But that's it. Stevie's birthday, 73.
Boom.
Well, she's the same age as what Louis Black's going to be, and I wish he'd try to date her. I don't know. How can I make that happen? Yeah? You think hippie Stevie would get on board with Lou? I think he's a little too intense for Stevie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She might like Ron White, though.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Party in a box.
He's party in a box. He's a little younger, but why not? He looks like he's been on Earth forever. Doesn't he? He definitely. I'd hire him for anything, though, for movies and stuff. He's in some movie, too. Something about 12 Little Orphans or something. He doesn't even know the name of it. But just when he walks in a room, his presence is something. There's something to be said for that, for Mr. Ron White. Anyway, okay. So many things. So many termite things. And I will, just because everybody should get a shout out. And you don't ever have to send me anything. But the thing, seriously, because I don't, I care, but I also don't need that stuff. But this is what's cool. If I put everything you guys sent me in a pile and I didn't know what that was and I just walked up to that pile, I would say, where'd you get all this cool shit? It's all super weird. This thing, and I have to wash it because I'm always allergic to these things that I think. This says the Round Rock Chupacabras.
It's awesome.
Now you tell me there's not a cooler shirt on the planet. And my nephews are going to be very jealous. Well, my nieces too. But this person, Jean, I'm never saying people's last names in case they don't want to. This actually got sent to my mom and dad's. And then my mom and dad brought it to me. Because my mom's like, I don't know, it's some sort of jersey. And it says Chupa. She never heard it. I go, Chupacabra? Does it say Chupacabra? She's like, yeah. What is that? It looks like a wolf with horns. I'm like, Mom, just stop opening packages. I think I told her to open it. But this is from Jean in Texas. I can't even pronounce the city. Pflugerville, I think, but there's a P, like Pfizer. P-F-U-G-E. Phlegm. Yeah. But so thank you, Jean, for the Chupacabra thing. And I got to get this off because I have two things. Not that I don't love it. I do love it. Then this person, Mandy, I won't say her last name, when I said a tour poster, first of all, big shout out to Willow in West Virginia for designing the one that you're all going to see. Yep. And super thanks to her mom, Vicky. I'm always partial to people named Vicky anyway, because that's my mom's name. But her mom watches this Pubcast or listens to it or whatever, and then I guess she told Willow to. She's roping in the children. And I'm like, yes, because I think Willow's probably a Zoomer. I think she's Generation Z. She's very young. But wait till you guys see the poster. I think Willow did a great job. But then this came, but I'd already picked a poster. But this one is very, very cool too. Mandy made this one. Can you guys see that? I like Do You Have Any Ranch because it's like in horror font. Like it's a horror movie. Yeah. Do you have any ranch?
I like that you're green.
But I like that I'm green too. I look like evil, kind of.
Like the Wizard of Oz.
I love the colors and all that. But sadly, Mandy, I'd already moved forward with Willow. But I'm going to sign this and send it back to you, Mandy, because I'm not narcissistic enough to have posters of myself all over the house. But then maybe for other projects, too, I'll throw something down. I forget where Mandy's from. I read this, too, and I don't remember where. But, well, it's on the tube. But thank you for that, and it's very cool.
We got to give a shout-out to Greg, too.
Well, and Greg, Willow's thing, And then Greg helped with some thumbnail stuff and then some transition stuff. And he's awesome, and he's from Pennsylvania. So
Big guitar shredder.
he's a guitar shredder. Yeah. I'll ask him next time if I can provide a link to his. He can really play a guitar. It's way better than I can. So there you go. And then somebody sent me this. And then I know this is probably boring, but I feel like, it doesn't happen every week. Somebody sent me the Farewell to Fat Richard Simmons cookbook. Now, see, if I found this in a pile, I'd be like, oh, I want to say that.
Totally.
What did he used to make? And she said it's because she did, or she, I don't even know. It's Chris. So I don't know. It looks more like a woman's penmanship. Now, like, what do I
mean?
Well, what do I think I am? A forensic person? I know. Let me see my profiling days. I just don't think men write this well.
Okay.
As clearly. And it's got a little flair to it.
Good.
It said, I wanted to get this to you some time ago, and especially now because you killed your Richard, my Chia Pet. Richard's dead. But it was kind of bullshit. Has anybody's ever worked Chia Pet people? I bought 2 more. I'll try again. David Hasselhoff. But yeah, that one it kind of looks like Ronald Reagan. I mean, it's really strange. And so anyway, she said, anyway, I thought maybe you could sign it and send it to a fan. Maybe I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to read it. Then if there's any recipes I like, I'll take pictures of them. And then I will. Wow, he's so country. Campfire vegetable bean pastas. Campfire. And then the next one's Lone Star Where's the Beef Chili. A lot of an apple a day coleslaw. I don't know. These pictures of him are hilarious. So I will do that, though. I will sign this and send it. I don't know. I'll pick somebody out on YouTube comments because I do read all those, which is why I know one of you was shitty to paddles because I read all that. I appreciate you people who defended paddles. Yeah. All right. That's it. Well, this book I got for myself. The Disappearing Act. I bought the Malaysian Flight 370 book of the lady who's super smart, who are supposedly super smart, Florence de Changi. Sounds like a rapper. And then in the back it says, truth is often the first casualty in the case of an air crash. Boom! It's all about. So I have this to read. I'm very excited about this. Okay. What are we drinking? With all that business out of the way, a little what? Deer crossing.
Nice.
I know. I probably should have saved this till October or November when it's actually deer, but I don't hunt deer. Wow, it's pouring rain. But I'm not against it, but I don't do it. But I should have probably saved this for hunting season. And this is Little Harpeth Brewing Company.
Oh, I like them.
It's delicious. Yeah, it's a fine little beer. That's what we're drinking. And what is our food section? Well, I felt stupid last week when I talked about the Flamin' Cheeto guy. I gave that some more thought too. This is what I'm thinking.
Wow.
I think because he was in California and they claimed the test markets were somewhere else. But I could see this happening in a corporation. He probably said they should have a hotter Cheeto, a spicy Cheeto. And then he probably told a boss. And then
it went to production.
the boss tells some other boss and he takes credit for it and it keeps going. And then that guy's going, yeah, but I was the one who said it. And in his mind, he's the only one who said it.
Right.
And, so whatever. The guy, would I go hear him speak? Probably. He'll probably be at one of my corporate gigs. There's always whenever I do corporate gigs, I'm Jokey the Clown ass hat at nighttime. I'm the nighttime person, but in the day, there's always inspirational people. I don't think I don't qualify. I'm not inspirational, but they have serious people in the day. One time I had to follow Colin Powell.
Oh my God.
I know. He's real nice, but fucking serious, man.
He's in charge of everything.
I said I'd never tasted a Flamin' Hot Cheetos, so no.
What? You love Cheetos.
I love Cheetos. Correct. They were fine. We didn't need to do. No. It doesn't even taste like a Cheeto anymore.
No.
It's too. The hot takes away the Cheetos made with real cheese. Okay.
No.
Whatever y'all say. Okay. I don't like them, and I like hot and spicy normally, but I don't. But they also make. I didn't know this, so in doing the work of the Lord for you people, and my nephews will be here this weekend. Maybe I'll make it for them. They might like it. They have Flamin Hot Cheeto mac and cheese, but I don't know. I don't think kids like. We'll find out. They're 8, 10, and 12. We'll see if any of them like it. Then, remember, I had my ranch rankings. I haven't lost this yet, which is shocking. So I found this one at Kroger, and I thought this was on my rankings. I'm going to try it. I've never had Ken's Steakhouse Ranch. Let's see. This is how they describe it. It received compliments for its rich flavor, consistency, and appearance. You don't get points for appearance when we're talking about ranch.
No.
It's white. Hello.
Speckles.
Speckled.
Yeah.
Although one father said, although one taster said she would dip her pizza in this ranch, another participant said it reminded him of ranch from the salad bar at middle school. Okay, well, I always liked like Catholic grade school food. I thought it was fine. I actually liked it.
No?
It's good, but it's got that tang thing going on.
That's what ranch is.
No, Hidden Valley's not that tangy. If you like tangy, yes, I do like it. I'd put it fourth. I'd put it where they put it. Well, I don't know. I've never had Tuscan Garden Ranch dressing. I'll try that and see if that's third. They have them ranked. Hidden Valley, number 1. Kraft, number 2. I would agree with that. 3, the one I've never had, Tuscan Garden. And then 4, Ken's Steakhouse. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Trader Joe's Organic Ranch is 5th. Everything, I'm not kidding. For a long, long time, I lived in Hermosa Beach, and a bunch of other comedians lived in Hermosa Beach, California when we were starting out. And they were all into Trader Joe's. And I'd never even heard of it coming from the Midwest. Everything I bought there was expired. Just like in the Geico commercial. Expired. Or whatever commercial that is. I love that. I love where they're living with the ants. Expired. Expired. I really feel like that was just my experience with Trader Joe's. And even if I left town for like a week, I'd come home and all the yogurt was already fucked up. Like, I'm just saying, if you shop at Trader Joe's, because they kind of made it appeal to single people too. They're like, look, here's a healthy meal all in one deal, and it's only $7. And you're like, well, it cost me that much to make salmon and this and that. I get what people like about it, but I would just recommend as a shopper, check the expiration dates at Trader Joe's. Can I get sued for that? No. I'm just saying what happened to me. It was true. Maybe Trader Joe's would like to make it up to me.
Right.
Yeah.
They owe you $14.
It was way more than $14. Is that everything? Flaming Hot Cheetos? Well, I had these two. Might as well take a bite of one. Pop-Tarts, we have a new flavor. Red Velvet Cupcake. What? Yep. I love red velvet cake. But I don't know. They always go too far with these. Too far.
No.
Too sweet. I'll send them to my mom.
You love red velvet.
She'll love them. I do love red velvet, and it does taste like red velvet. But then, I don't know. They always add something.
What if you heat it in a toaster?
If I heated it?
Yeah. You're supposed to put it in a toaster.
Well, sometimes you're supposed to put it. You don't have to put them in a toaster. I eat them cold. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. That's it. No more news. Cher's getting her biopic. We know that. All right. Update! Oh my God, I have so many updates. Oh my God. The Elizabeth Holmes thing. Oh. Theranos. We have more information about what's going to happen in her trial. Elizabeth is asking for an expanded jury selection, citing widespread inflammatory media coverage, which describes her as a fraud, con artist, and psychopath. Yes, yes, and yes. So, in the case of Elizabeth Holmes, apparently all publicity isn't good publicity. See, now that's something There was a comedian a long time ago that used to tell me any publicity is good publicity, and then I would lay it and I like, not that I was going to be on any red carpet or in People magazine anyway, but I thought, I don't think so. When does it cross the line? I don't agree with that I mean, it depends on what is your goal, I guess. But that's where I get too Libra about it, and then I break it down into 18 different scenarios, and then I come up with 18 different answers, and that's not what was presented, Kathleen. You just needed one answer, yes or no. And then I'm like, well, it depends. And then what is the goal? How long do you plan to do it? You know, so on and so forth. Anyway, attorneys for the former Theranos CEO are citing widespread negative coverage as a reason to expand selection for the pool of jurors in her upcoming criminal fraud trial. Okay, yes, there's been negative coverage because you told some people they were dying of cancer and they fucking weren't.
Right.
Of course there's going to be negative coverage. Was it widespread? Yeah, because Theranos was this giant thing. She's on the cover of Fortune magazine. Well, the money, I don't know Fortune specifically, but those money things that I don't read. They're always in the smart people section of the airplane. Anyway, a 21-page motion spelled out an example of highly descriptive and unflattering stories in the past several years about Holmes. The publicity is pervasively negative, lawyers for Holmes said. Yeah. And she is routinely referred to in derisive and inflammatory terms that are directly relevant to wire fraud charges in this case. Media coverage describes her as a fraudster. Anytime you put "stir" on the end, you're lightening the blow. I'm a fraudster. That just sounds like I'm doing tiny bits of trickery. Hey, buddy, fraudster is kind, I think. Con artist, scam artist, and raging psychopath. Now, there's a big difference if somebody's going to come to my front door and somebody says, this guy's a fraudster. I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to try to charge me way too much to kill the carpenter bees. I know what he's getting. But if they say he's a raging psychopath, I'm not opening the door. No. There's a big difference. But also, if they want to get 12 people that don't know anything about it, I can find them at my lake bar tomorrow.
True. Yeah.
These people don't know where to look for what they need. It's like with the OJ thing, too. Even back then, who's not going to know about this? I can tell you 50,000 people that don't know a goddamn thing about sports, don't even know who OJ was or, any of that. They don't look in the right places for the jury they need. Just always been on. She's asking for an expanded jury summons and has proposed a written jury questionnaire. Oh, I don't know. There's rules about that. They're already in place. Lawyers for Holmes wrote media coverage also trades on prejudicial tropes and recurring themes, often related to Mrs. Holmes' demeanor, voice. Oh, yeah, everyone commented on that because it's the first thing you notice.
Right.
That's on her. That ain't on us. And her physical appearance. Yeah, because she dressed like, what's his face, Steve Jobs. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I mean, it's bizarre. They say the negative publicity traces back to at least 2015 and is focused intensely on Mrs. Holmes' personally, not simply the circumstances of Theranos' corporate dissolution. So what they're saying is she's a highly unlikable person that is bizarre at best by, if all of a sudden my voice was like this. It doesn't matter. It's the first thing I noticed when I watched the show in the clips. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this lady? What is she doing? She's doing it on purpose. She has to be. Unless there was some sort of weird throat injury. Like she took a hockey puck right to the larynx and all of a sudden she started talking like this. They said they did a comprehensive search of news articles and other media which generated 462,000 entries. Among them included 3,700 results of negative personal news and 2,800 results of negative business news. So they're saying nobody likes her. Well, that's on you.
Right.
You went and did the publicity. It's not like you were a quiet CEO. You took every single piece of publicity to be out there in the public, and you did it. It's coming back to haunt you. Attorneys for Holmes proposed a 46-page jury questionnaire. Then you wonder why people don't want to be on juries.
Right.
I don't want to read anything that's 46 pages ever in my life. And as much as I feel like we do have a civic duty sometimes, this is where you lose people. I would just write bullshit on the first 2 pages, or I hate Theranos, just to get out of it, because it's already too hard. 46 pages, I got to answer questions. No. The SAT was less. No, I didn't take that. I took the ACT. But that was less, I know. Including topics ranging from working in the blood testing industry or medical industry to experience in the venture capital world.
Oh, come on. Wow.
The questionnaire also asks a potential juror if they've ever been a victim of fraud, had a bad experience with an investment, or been involved in a dispute about misdiagnosis. Wow.
Yeah.
She dropped out of Stanford at age 19, and that lady at Stanford said everything she was saying was never going to work. That lady already knew that, and founded Theranos, claiming its technology could accurately run thousands of tests with just a drop or 2 of blood. The former executive has pleaded not guilty to a dozen criminal wire charges in connection with misleading patients and investors. The judge set a pretrial hearing for June 15th. Jury selection is to begin on August 31st in where? San Jose.
Wow.
San Jose. I've always had fun in San Jose. I used to work at the Improv up there. So there's your update. If you really want people who know nothing about this, it would be no problem. Now, I can't guarantee that people I will find are not drunks, but I know they don't know.
No. It's okay.
Go to a marina, find the people living on the houseboats, and go, hey, do you know anything about Theranos? Not all of them, but a lot. Update! Oh my God. WeWork. Remember?
Yeah.
We talked about that documentary.
Didn't you get a book?
I already talked about my book.
The book of him. His book.
Oh, I have the book of the guy, A Billion Dollar Loser is the name of the book. I haven't read it yet. Well, I've read the first, and it's I think I already talked about it though. It's way more, if you really want to see this guy's fraudster, shall we? His bullshit, the guy from WeWork that ran away with all the money, if you really want to know more about that guy, I thought, well, do I really want to buy this book? Because I probably know this from watching the shows. It's a lot more than that. It's really good so far. I'm only for maybe a fourth way into it. Anyway, WeWork is still a company, as everybody. If you live in a city, you can probably still see the WeWork buildings. Just because he ran off with all the money, not all the money, but way too much. And WeWork reports a $2 billion loss ahead of stock market debut. Well, yeah, because of COVID, no one was going to shared workspaces.
Right.
Why would you debut your stock now? Wait another year until things are relatively back to normal. And whoever got left holding the bag here, why would you do that? Postpone it. Office sharing startup WeWork has posted a $2.6 billion quarterly loss after being hit hard by COVID. The announcement comes as WeWork prepares for its stock market debut. In March, WeWork said it would see its shares start trading on the stock market through the purchase by the publicly traded BioX Acquisition Corp. The firm is led by the owners of the NBA Sacramento Kings and affiliated with basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal. The deal valued WeWork at $9 billion, roughly a fifth of the estimated work in 2019 before its earlier flotation effort spectacularly imploded. Investors have raised the question about company's finance and how the business was managed by founder Adam Neumann, that's the guy I'm reading the book about, who left the firm. After plans to list the company were shelved, WeWork restructured, and then it says the business. They wrote the twice. These people can't even write an article. It closed around 100 locations, pulled out of non-core ventures, including a dog walking app and a wave pool maker. That was his bullshit. And now has a third of the employees it did in mid-2019. So those people just got screwed. The company said it incurred restructuring costs of $494 million, including its settlement with Mr. Newman. So disgusting. It posted an impairment charge of $299 million, partly due to an exit out of some real estate. In February, WeWork's backer, SoftBank, and Mr. Newman reached a settlement to end the legal battle that started in 2019. Their first attempt to go public collapsed in 2019 when Adam and his wife couldn't fill out proper paperwork. Just start there. The business of and then there was the pandemic. WeWork, which is backed. Oh, it's still backed by Japanese tech giant SoftBank. Said its first quarter review almost halved the firm now. Said people are returning to its offices as COVID restrictions are eased. I don't know. Have you guys ever been to a WeWork space? I had to go meet a lawyer there once.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't dig it.
It's a lot about the coffee.
I know, the coffee and the...
Snacks.
I don't really need to meet people in places. Like, just pick up the phone. Then I'm not doing Zoom anymore. I did my last one with Tom Papa and Fortune on their show because I love them both. And they're just fun. Because you know what? I don't need to have to dress up for a phone call.
No.
Or doll up.
No.
I don't even doll up for you guys. I didn't even put on lipstick. I forgot. Yeah, let me do that.
That's better.
It's not even lipstick. It's a really good lip gloss, though. It's fancy. It's Dior, but it stays on all day.
Dior. Nice.
I liked the look of how it's presented in this silver, cool tube, square.
Pairs well with Pop-Tarts.
My Dior lip gloss pairs well with Flamin Cheetos and red velvet. Update. This is so great. Because I like weird art things, and I also like cryptocurrency. And everybody, like last week, oh my God, it's tumbling. It's not going away. My crypto is fine. My doggy coin, I'm down $18. I can live with that. And my other crypto account is doing fine. I'm still making lots of money. It was higher, I admit. It's a wild ride. And just remember, I'm not a financial advisor.
No.
I'm a lady who's eating Ken's Steakhouse Ranch and red velvet cupcake Pop-Tarts. So if I'm ever held in a court of law because one of you did something and wants to blame me, just remember I'm going to tell the judge that. Listen, if you listen to me, that's on you. Because I'm telling you right here, I'm not qualified to talk about financial matters. I'm just saying, it's a lot of fun if you want to take a wild roller coaster ride with whatever money you don't care about. Say it's $25, $50, whatever. Anyway, this combines both of my my sort of like secret little interests. Famous painting by secretive artist Banksy sells for $12.9 million in crypto. What? That's right.
That's crazy.
A Banksy work was sold for $12.9 million in cryptocurrency on Wednesday. Love is in the air. The secretive artist oil creation of oil and spray paint on canvas was auctioned off through Sotheby's for its contemporary art evening auction, becoming the first piece of physical art to be sold for crypto by a major auction house. The piece in question is of a protester in a backward hat tossing a bouquet of flowers as opposed to a Molotov cocktail. I like the painting. I like it a lot. In March, Sotheby's announced it would accept crypto and auction NFTs as well. So once this is what I'm saying. Bitcoin ain't going away. It might go up and down a lot, but it's too far in now. Again, this is not CNBC.
No.
This is a lady sitting with cardboard cutouts of people I like. Because digital art can be so easily replicated and reproduced, digital artists have been using NFTs to mark their original works, a tech-heavy definition that boils down to something similar in a concept to a coded digital trademark and preserve its value. Christie's, Christie's and the British auction house, with a flagship in New York, made history as the first ever major auction house to sell an NFT. The NFT is by Beeple, that artist, and it was sold for $69.3 million. So, just saying, folks, this shit's real. Also, Sotheby's that announced early in the month that Bitcoin and Ethereum would be accepted for payment. So far, Sotheby's is not letting me and Snoop Dogg in the door with our doggy coin.
No.
Snoop Dogg's so cool. It has not been reported which form of crypto was involved in this sale, this Sotheby's sale. According to a poll of Twitter users conducted by Sotheby's, more than 35% believe Banksy piece would be paid for using Ethereum. That's what I have more money in Ethereum than I do Bitcoin because they do contracts and, things I don't understand. But it sounded more serious, so I was like, yeah, these people sound a little more real. The acceptance of crypto has gained momentum in the art world. And then they talk about this. So that was just a quick update. Just saying, guys, you want a roller coaster ride? You want to have some fun? You want to go to the Six Flags of money? There you go.
The Six Flags of money.
Here's another one. Never heard of this place. Bequia, Bequia, the Caribbean island, home to, it's going to be the world's first Bitcoin community.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Now, here's a Midwest argument at a bar. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean? I say Caribbean. I don't know that I'm right. But then I was in Minnesota in their airport once, and there was like probably 25, 50-somethings going on their version of spring break, I'm sure. And they just kept going, we're going to the Caribbean. I'm like, okay. Maybe. I've heard it said both ways. Anyway, this little island, first fully Bitcoin-enabled community, will be set in Bequia, an 18 square kilometer Caribbean island that is part of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I don't know where any of that is, but it's kind of cool that the whole place is going to run on Bitcoin. But then again, it's not cool. My landscaper guy, Mark, my friend, he thinks that the government doesn't want us to have cash anymore because sometimes they can't account for all the cash. And I don't think he's wrong.
I agree with that.
But I think he needs to accept the fact that that's what's going to happen.
Right.
What about coin? And then I said to, I love Mark. I go, what about coins? And I acted like that mattered.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. And he just goes, well, he always stops for a minute. Whoa, Kathleen, I think that's the same. I don't know, Mark. I don't think so. Here's just another one. Here's just another one that I was like, holy shit show. How many rich people are out there? Picasso painting sells for $130 million in New York auction house. Pablo Picasso's Woman Sitting by a Window sold for $103 million at Christie's in New York. It was completed in 1932. It was sold the first time for $90 million, which rose to $103 million when fees and commissions were added after 19 minutes of bidding. So there's other people involved that just have $100 million to throw down for a painting. Wow. It's also because of the special status of Picasso, who was born in 1881 and died in 1973. The same painting was acquired only 8 years ago at a London sale for $28 million. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Right. 5 works by the Spanish painter have now crossed the symbolic threshold of $100 million. Even before this sale, he was already one of the top wage earner people. He sold one for Woman of Algiers, which holds the Picasso record at $179 million. I guess if there's that many rich people. And then my guy, Jean-Michel Basquiat, he sold a painting for $93 million last week. I mean,
Well done.
good for you. And this is the last thing I'll say about art. I found this extremely strange. Bob Dylan artwork to go on display in the U.S. this year. I didn't even know Bob Dylan did art. How did I miss that? I did see, though, I can't wait to see my nephews, but also my nieces, because I'm going to show them this video. Roseanne Cash, on Bob Dylan's 80th birthday, which was last week at some point, posted a video because she and Emmylou Harris and Michelle Schacht and somebody else sang backup for Bob Dylan on Letterman. This is like in 1992, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And he and I like Bob Dylan songs, but he came out and sang like a Rolling Stone. And you cannot understand. It literally, I'm not going to be a hack comic about this, but he's like, hey, you see? And I'm like, what is he doing? Like, does he not know we can't? That's unintelligible. I mean, I know the words. I know what he's. I'm going to show it to the kids, and I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say, what do you think of this man?
Right.
Because I can't picture younger people even, and then the women, and Emmylou Harris, did I say her? She was there. They hardly even got to sing. It's just a crazy video.
Because they don't know what he's doing.
They never got to the chorus part. Like a rolling stone, whatever. Anyway, I guess Bob's been a bit busy painter. The largest collection of Bob Dylan's artwork ever will go display later this year in the United States. Retrospectum spans 6 decades of Dylan's art, featuring more than 120 of the artist's paintings, drawings, and sculptures. He does sculptures. That shit's hard. Wow. It premiered in Shanghai, China, in 2019. Yeah. Where's it going to go here? Oh, Miami is the only stop announced. It's going to start on November 30th. If you want to see what Bob Dylan paints, get your ass to Miami. Okay, Oklahoma, hold our beer. This is so fucking great. And the picture of this man. Republican announces $3 million bounty for Bigfoot on the floor of the Oklahoma legislature.
Wow.
Republican State Rep Justin Humphrey, and he's got a cowboy hat on, like a real kind of cowboy hat. He gave a speech on the fictional Sasquatch known as Bigfoot on the floor of the Oklahoma House of Representatives. I did plan on trying to get a little attention for a festival in Honolulu, Oklahoma, which is where everyone knows Bigfoot lives. Really? Everybody knows that? I've never heard of it, and I do my homework. I mean, I know they think he's in Oklahoma, but I didn't know the city that I can't pronounce. I got a couple of guys who say he lives out in the West. He does not. He lives in Honolulu, Oklahoma, Humphrey said. Humphrey was honoring the owner of a Bigfoot-themed gas station called Gasquatch. I would stop. You got me there.
Awesome.
It's funny. Nobody thinks of being funny at a gas station. It's funny. It's silly. Gasquatch. This guy, he's offered a $2 million bounty for the capture of the elusive beast. After his presentation, Humphrey returned to the dais to report that the bounty had been raised to $3 million. Wow. So he sat down.
He sat with himself.
Then he did. Like a child in a snowstorm, he sat with himself quietly and decided, nope, I'm going up another mill. God. Earlier, and this is an update actually, because earlier we talked about this, he's the one who introduced the bill to create a Bigfoot hunting season. But here's the problem. When you say hunting, I think we all assume
You're going to kill Bigfoot.
You're allowed to kill it.
Yeah.
Right. It should be trapping.
Oh.
Because he says he doesn't, well, let me finish here. Establishing an actual hunting season and issuing licenses for people who want to hunt Bigfoot will just draw more people to our already beautiful part of the state. It'd be a great way for people to enjoy our area and have some fun, Humphrey said in a press release at the time. In his speech, Humphrey stressed the goal was not to kill Bigfoot. We don't hunt Bigfoot. We don't hunt Bigfoot. You've already said it's a hunting season.
Right.
Nobody wants to harm him. We're going to do a live, humane capture of Bigfoot, Humphrey said.
Oh my God.
Well, then you need to call it capture season or trapping season. But now I want to go to this gas station called Gasquatch. Well, next time I'm in Oklahoma, I'll put it in my phone.
When in Oklahoma?
Well, I wonder if they have an app. Love's has an app. Did you know that? You can put Love's, if you're on a road trip and you want to go to Love's gas stations, always consistent, always clean, great breakfast tacos, as we've talked about. They have an app, and then that app will tell you how far the next Love's is from where you're at, and it will tell you how much gas is at that Love's.
Great.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, what are we watching? Well, I said last week I hardly ever watch things that are supposed to be funny. And it's not because I necessarily don't think they're funny. It's just funny is what we do for a living. And sometimes it's, when you really want to lift your spirits, it's nice to watch Evil Kin.
Yeah.
You want to feel good about how about a Snapped marathon? And then I think, holy shit, I've never gotten to that level. I'm doing fine. You want to relax a little bit? How about I lived with a serial killer? But I strayed off my patterns this week, and I watched on Hulu Jan, capitals, capital J, capital A, capital N, which is who? Jan Arden. And am I saying this because I know Jan? No, I'm not. Because if I watched it and it wasn't funny, I wouldn't bring it up. I would just be quiet and say, well, you know Jan Arden, she's a singer, Canadian, very famous. But that will probably, I don't know if she would get mad. I think Sarah McLachlan got more famous at some point in internet globally. Yeah. And so there's this ongoing thing. But anyway, it's not even a sitcom. There's no canned laughter. It's just a show that I laughed out loud like a zillion goddamn times. And some of it is quirky Canadian-y. But the writing is so good, and they're always doing something. It's not just sitting around a kitchen table saying stupid jokes. It's so funny, in my opinion. I would say give it. And she ropes in everybody. Sarah McLachlan, and they have a fight, which is hilarious. Katie Lang plays her very serious self in one episode on like a Good Morning Canada type show. And it's just some of the lines where they're like, name a celebrity. And then somebody said something. They go, no, a real celebrity, an American. There were so many, it's so well written. And Jan, I always knew Jan was funny because she hosted some comedy shows up in Montreal at that big festival. And I liked her music, and sometimes they just have a famous Canadian drop in and host things. But she was actually funny in real life. And I was like, wow, you don't usually find, somebody that can do both. And then I didn't even want to follow her. I'm like, fuck, she's funny and famous here and famous everywhere, but especially there. Anyway, I would highly recommend that. And then here's another one. There's so many things in that show and then I couldn't stop. And I'm all the way to almost the end of season 2. There's another one with Gene Smart. I love Gene Smart, and it's called Hacks. Hacks. And I thought, is this going to be a stand-up comedy? The ones specifically about stand-up comedy, so hardly ever get it right that it's just too frustrating. And I'm like, this is just bullshit. I don't want people to believe this shit. This is just dog shit. This is good, though, and it is funny. Gene Smart is so goddamn funny. And I think what's great for me is it's not a lot about the stage stuff of stand-up comedy, or there's enough. You just trust me on this one and give it an episode, because the first episode, there's some LA scenes and stuff. I was like, that's just too overly written. No one would ever say that. So I had to get past my crabbiness, and then it got great. And I think it's kind of based on Joan Rivers, but I think they changed enough of it that you can't really say it's Joan Rivers. I mean, I think so. Or it's a hybrid of Joan and other older female comedians. I don't know who else would even be in that box anymore. But Gene Smart is fucking hilarious. So that's what we're watching. All right.
We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
We'll put Jan in the show notes.
Yeah.
The Katie Lang one was so funny. Well, so was the Sarah McLachlan one. And then Jan shows up to go on like what would be a Lilith Fair type thing. And the whole tour bus that she has to get on is painted with Sarah McLachlan. She just looks at it and is just like, all right, whatever. It's just so, and it's really about her sister and her mom who has Alzheimer's, and her mom has since passed away. But there's actually real stuff in there too. It's not just, because that's what's wrong with a lot of sitcoms. It's always about everybody's funny all the time. No, they're not. Like, there has to be real shit in here, or it doesn't matter to me. And then I'm not invested in it because now it's just a joke fest. And this one actually has real stuff from her real life. This is another. I feel like I am easily trickable. Okay? I feel like
Just get in front of it.
I'm getting way out in front of that. Naive, not even naive. I can be mentally lazy when people suggest something or present me something. Do I do due diligence? No. I don't. And I'm not saying that is good or bad. I just know that's my patterns, and I should do more diligence. But it's boring shit. Like, somebody, I don't know, there was some insurance thing. And they're like, well, did you read all of it? No. No. I just signed it.
Have you got it?
Well, you know, you could have gone over the bullet points and then argued some of that. What? No.
Nope.
Yeah. I think, you know, what. So anyway. But, so I'm not saying I'm not susceptible to all kinds of bullshit. However, I've never done that and gave someone money.
Right.
I might give them my time. I might do favors for them or something, or be involved. For instance, charity gigs. You know, I've done a shitload in my life. Have I done due diligence? Not really. I don't even know if they were real. They seemed real, and I just showed up and did it. But I never have given cash, I can proudly say.
Good.
To something that I didn't do. This story is crazy. And it happened right now. I mean, technically last month. 2 years ago, well, the headline is, a Hollywood actor starred in Hollywood actor starred in low-budget sci-fi films. On the side, he ran a $227 million Ponzi scheme.
What?
That's what the feds are saying.
Wow.
2 years ago, Zachary Horowitz seemed to be living the Hollywood dream, which, for the record, I don't even know what they mean by that.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I lived the Hermosa Beach dream, and I drank at a bar in an alley called Bestie's.
I love that place.
Then I moved to West Hollywood, and I drank at a bar called Barney's Beanery. I mean, I don't think I had the same dreams as some people who go to Hollywood. True, the chiseled actor with the perfectly trimmed stubble was still mostly landing parts in low-budget horror and sci-fi flicks. But thanks to his booming side business, a firm that he told investors was licensing hundreds of movies to Netflix and HBO. So that's his pitch. The 34-year-old had just bought a $5.7 million LA mansion with a built-in cinema and wine cellar and splurged another $700,000 for a celebrity interior decorator. What does that mean?
Yeah.
One of those people on that channel? What's that channel? HGTV. Did he hire those, or aren't those twins Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was them. Horowitz's business, though, was much as an illusion as the special effects for his latest movie, feds say. In fact, Horowitz never had any relationship with Netflix or HBO, according to a complaint filed this week by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, and instead fabricated documents and lied to investors while misappropriating millions to pay for his luxury lifestyle. On the SEC, not to be confused with the football SEC, SEC. The SEC on Tuesday froze the assets of Horowitz and his company and accused him of violating anti-fraud statutes. He was arrested by the FBI on Tuesday morning at his mansion in the Beverly Wood neighborhood. Beverly Wood. I'm not sure I even knew that was an area there. He was charged with wire fraud. We allege that Horowitz promised extremely high returns and made them seem plausible by invoking the names of two well-known entertainment companies and fabricating documents, said so-and-so, the SEC's local office. They don't need it. As an actor, he had racked up 15 credits. He'd earned some minor roles in big-budget films, like his uncredited part as an SS medic. Well, if it's not even a credited part, in Brad Pitt's 2014 film Fury, a few bigger parts in indie movies, okay, like the 2017 sci-fi film Curvature, which Variety panned as a derivative metaphysical thriller.
No.
But his on-screen career wasn't taking off. Starting around 2014, he began luring investors. This is where I don't understand how people way smarter than me do this. Like, the only way you're going to get money, like, I'm just going to give you money as if I lost a bet. Or I will put in money for a gambling pool. And like,
Happily.
well, for instance, there's a guy named Ryan. I will not say his last name, and he may or may not be in our family. And there's a lot of, technically, no, he's not in our family, but he might be a best friend of somebody who's in our family who can't do those things, run gambling things. And, you know, I Venmo him my entry fee for March Madness, and he could run away. He could steal it.
Your $11.
I won $3 on the PGA Championship. I came in third. That's what third. Well, technically, I profited $3 after my entry fee. So it's kind of disappointing, but at least I've covered my costs. Wow. But what I'm saying is that's the only way I would do it. Like I have, now that I think about it, I have freely given Ryan up front
$11.
No, sometimes it's like 50 for March Madness. Now, I'm just saying Ryan could, because there's way more people than me doing it. Lewis Black, who buys 4 squares. What? That technically Ryan could run away with all the upfront money. But that's all I've ever done. This is millions of dollars people do this shit. I just don't understand this. His pitch was simple. So this is what he's pitching people at lunch. Probably was he at a WeWork space, or did he take them out to lunch? Investors would hand over money so he could use to buy distribution rights to movies. Netflix or HBO would then pay him to license the films, and within a year or 6 months, he could return the profit to his backers. He consistently hit his targets and shared documents supposedly from HBO and Netflix with his investors. The business seemed rock solid, investigators said. Some investors turned over millions. Somebody said, I believed that if HBO was involved, my investment was safe. Actually, there were no distribution rights, and he never sold any movies to Netflix or HBO, the Fed said. Instead, he used the new money coming in to pay off the old investors. Yeah. And then that always spins out of control. We all know that. I never understand what these people think the end game's going to be. Eventually, you're going to prison, or you're going to be killed, or you're going to kill yourself.
Right.
There's just no good ending here to a Ponzi scheme unless you just kept it going. Like Bernie Madoff might have gotten away with it if it wasn't for the financial collapse in 2008. And then he could have just died of natural causes, I guess. But then his kids are going to go to jail. Somebody's going to jail. That's all I know when you start this shit. And I think they're such psychopaths that they can pitch it and lie so easily and fake document. All of these things that are very difficult to do. And yet, this is what they choose to do with that amount of, creativity, intelligence, all the things that it would take to do all that. Between 2014 and 19, he raised more than $690 million.
Wow.
He was living large, using money from his investors. He chartered jets. He dropped more than $100,000 on trips to Vegas. Got a subscription luxury watch service. What? Rich people think of shit I didn't even know existed on Earth.
Dial a Rolex.
A subscription luxury watch service. Ron has a very expensive watch. Well, he likes watches. He has quite a few but the one I go, that's a nice watch. Which my sister goes, who even wears watches anymore? They're just done. I go, time? We're done with time?
Time is over.
No, it's on your phone. Well, I need a watch on stage. I can't be turning my phone on every 5 seconds. But anyway, I said, that's a very nice watch. He goes, well, if you want to fucking wind something every day. I go, what? I'm sure it was thousands of dollars. He goes, yeah, I didn't know that. I go, so basically you just have on a bracelet? Yeah. Wow. There's a guy who did not do his research. Anyway, apparently there's a subscription luxury watch service. No idea. One of you termites want to Google what the fuck that even means. And he bought high-end cars. The house was his crowning jewel. A 6-bedroom estate with a pool and decked out with designer furniture, according to a Zillow listing shared by the Times. But by late 2019, the scheme started to collapse. Unable to pay off investors, he scrambled to keep appeasing them through 2020 by claiming HBO had failed to pay for an agreed deal and suggesting he was planning to sue them. He put his house on the market for $6.5. As recently as last month, he told one investigator he might need them to pitch in to help pay for attorney fees to recoup the money they'd expected from HBO. But there never was a deal with HBO. This is like Casey Anthony psycho. Yeah, I work at Universal, and the cops go there. She's like, okay, no, I don't. What? Horowitz has allegedly missed 160 payments to investors, including one firm in Chicago that's owed $160 million in principal. What firm gave him $160 million?
Right.
That is crazy to not do your homework. In all, he owes roughly $227 million to investors, not including interest. On Tuesdays, prosecutors asked to keep Horowitz in custody, noting that millions of dollars aren't accounted for. The odds that the defendant has some of that money squirreled away are quite high. I would agree. Mm-hmm. They released him on $1 million secured bond, according to the Times. They have scheduled a court hearing later in the month to determine whether the agency can keep his assets frozen. And there's a little bit more on this guy in a different article. Is this too hard, Paddles? I think this one's fun.
Totally fun.
This one's not hard.
Nothing like fun, like a Ponzi scheme.
A Ponzi scheme. You should see a picture of this guy. He's cute enough. I get it. Wow. Here's a guy who invested in him. The promise of easy money. If it's too good to be true, it is. Mm-hmm. How many times do we have to go over this, folks?
Right.
Brought him to the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills. Russell, a steel company executive from Las Vegas, had come to meet Zachary Horowitz, a low-level actor seeking investors for his film company. But see, the chutzpah that it took for this guy to get that guy to meet him at the Four Seasons, like, I don't even know how you do that. He made it sound simple. He'd use his rights to buy up the right to cheap movies, like Slasher Party, Satanic Panic, and then resell them to HBO for distribution in Latin America. He'd pay Russell back in 6 months with 15% profit. Russell had already wired Horowitz more than $500,000 after a friend vouched for the 30-year-old actor. And then at the dinner party, Russell, the investor guy, was intrigued but nervous. What would happen if HBO declined to buy the rights to a film, he asked. Good question. HBO has never backed out, Horowitz replied. But the whole conversation's fake. Mm-hmm. Why don't you Google who this guy is and go, really, Zachary? How do you, a low-grade, tier 59 actor, how did you acquire these rights?
Right.
Come on. Even I would say, what? Over the next 2 years, Russell and his partners made $80 million in loans to the actor's company. Wow. They thought they were financing scores of deals. $80 million bucks. In reality, they'd been lured into a Ponzi scheme. And, I mean, basically, I don't need to go through all this. But if you want to, we'll put it in the show notes. You know, he did repay people for a while, so then that gets people excited, much like I feel about Doggy Coin. But if you want to get into this guy even more, put it in the show notes, Zachary Horowitz. But he had enough talent to do all that, which I know I don't. I certainly don't have the energy.
No.
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 All right.
Good story.
Well, I like it.
Yeah.
They'll make a movie out of it. Let him play himself. Then he can pay people back. Come on, at least Lifetime. Oh, that was the other thing that I watched. And I don't know if I talked about it last week. Halston? Did I talk about that? It's on Netflix. Because Lewis said, did you watch it? Is it any good? I said I did watch it. It's a guilty pleasure. As Dominic Dunn would say, it was delicious. It's about Halston, the designer. And Ewan McGregor does such a great job of sounding like Halston, throwing these fits that he apparently would throw. He looks like him. It's really weird But then there were other people. The lady who plays Liza Minnelli, no, that wasn't. Like Lou said, he actually knows a woman who does Liza Minnelli on purpose for gigs. That, you know, there was just a lot of things that brought it to a lifetime. It's like a lifetime thing, a guilty pleasure. But I liked it, and if you don't know anything about Halston, apparently there's a much better documentary somewhere that I've never seen, but that's what I keep reading in all the reviews. Lewis felt the same way, but he liked it. We liked it. If you just want something easy and fun and salacious and, you know, a guilty little pleasure. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. I'm not even going to go into all of the sightings lately. And, you know, the whole UFO thing has been overly done on a million podcasts and all that stuff. But lately, there's been all this information coming out. And videos of that one going in the ocean. And, you know, whenever people say, do you believe in UFOs? My initial my initial reaction is I fucking hope so. I hope there's smarter people than us that can come here and tell us smart things. I mean, it might be scary. Like I think I've said this before on here. If one landed in the yard, I would hide.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm not going out there to greet them with the cheese that my friend Kathy found at some place in Baltimore. Hey, look what I have. Do you like smoked Gouda? So good with beer. I'm not. No, I'd be scared till I saw them come out. And did they look aggressive, or do they have gifts?
Aggressive aliens.
Aggressive alien? You don't know. Maybe they. But there have been all of these sightings, and they're releasing these videos, and then I guess Obama said something about it. But then here's another one. Now it's even Canada. Commercial airline pilots keep reporting UFOs over Canada. And they all say they don't want to report it, and I believe them, because then people are going to think you're crazy. This just got released. On the morning of May 30th, 2016, an Air Canada Express flight from Montreal to Toronto reported that it had crossed an unidentified flying object, round in shape, flying at approximately speeds of 300 kts, or more than 550 kilometers, is that right? An hour, over 8,000 feet above Lake Ontario on November 19th. 2 crew members were injured when Porter airplanes dove to avoid hitting an object that appeared to be solid and shaped like an upright donut or inner tube. Oh. Yeah. By combing thousands of reports in government flight incident databases, Vice World News uncovered dozens of USO sightings from Canadian and international airlines. They include a pair of WestJets, WestJet is a Canadian airline, flights near BC's Okanagan Valley, which is also the home of what? Bigfoot. And we all know that. That allegedly saw a bright white strobe-type light above them on the night of March 16th, 2017, a pre-dawn January 10th, 2015 encounter outside of Regina, Saskatchewan, when multiple aircraft reported a very large object with small white light in the middle, surrounded by a halo that appeared to descend from 41,000 feet. And it keeps going with all these. Pilots are probably not reporting about 90% of the things they're seeing because they know it could have lengthy career implications. Sure it will. I wouldn't say anything. You know, the minute I come back and go, you guys aren't going to believe that, but there was like an inner tube type donut type deal. And I had the swerve to not hit it. And, you know, I don't know what you want to do. And then you next thing, well, you know what, Kathleen, we're going to have one of our therapists come in on Monday. And you're going to sit down with
talk to that person.
So-and-so. For most pilots, it's not worth it, this one guy said. That's why I believe each of these guys saw what they reported. Me too.
Yeah.
It's the amount of what is coming out lately that makes, do I think the government knows they're there? Yes, I do. Do they know more than that they're there? Probably not. So they're not saying nothing. But I'm just saying, on this Pubcast, I'm saying right now, I think they're prepping us.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden it's being released. Now, does everybody know what a skinwalker is?
Yep.
We've talked about that, I think. Mm-hmm. They did an investigation into Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It was probed by the Pentagon, where the cows are found inside out and the soil is radioactive. The isolated spot is at the center of America's most baffling mysteries, including horrific cases of cattle mutilation and sightings of bulletproof, shape-shifting creatures. Yep. Scientific research, they're doing it now. Carried out at the sprawling ranch, which covers more than 500 acres of northern Utah, has maybe it's a bulletproof Osmond. What if it's Marie Osmond? Did you look closely? 500 acres in northern Utah has also revealed unexplained high levels of dangerous radiation in the soil. And why is that?
I don't know.
Real estate tycoon Brandon Fugel bought the ranch from paranormal enthusiast Robert Bigelow and has since given full access to a research team, good for him, headed by Dr. Travis Taylor, who's worked for the U.S. Department of Defense and NASA. Good. He hired a smart guy. It's a guy. Dr. Taylor's full-scale investigation is now the focus of a new 8-part series being screened on Blaze. I think that's an app. Blaze TV?
I think it's both.
On Wednesday nights, called The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch. The Sun Online, that's this newspaper, was given exclusive access to clips of the show, which reveals probe into the ranch, which has attracted top stars fascinated with the paranormal, including Robbie Williams and rapper Post Malone.
Oh, yeah!
Mr. Fuqua said, as early as 1911, the homesteaders started seeing an unexplained phenomenon. By 1979, there were a lot of UFO sightings being documented. People who visit the ranch have had really acute medical episodes, everything from nausea to perception-altering experiences, and even temporary paralysis. Well, then I'm not going.
No.
Who's attending this after knowing these things? Hey, you know what I want to do on vacation? Is there any place we could go where I'm going to want to puke and then hallucinate and then be paralyzed? That'd be great.
Wonderful.
Let's go on VRBO. And then the Sherman family acquired the property in 1992 and were witness to some of the most disturbing events on record. There were daylight cattle mutilations. We are talking surgical, precise dissections. They were drained of their blood. As much as 25% of the herd was lost.
Oh my God.
I know. This is crazy. I might go there in the day.
No.
Well, probably not. During the probe, his team witnessed multiple UFO sightings, heard shocking accounts of cows being virtually turned inside out, and noticed strange anomalies in the ground beneath the ranch and the skies above. The existence of the $15 million Pentagon study was first revealed in the story published by the New York Times in 2017, which sent shockwaves around the world. Well, sometimes I think the government spends a lot of money on stupid shit, but I think we should know this.
Yeah.
My vote, yes. Further details then emerged into a report looking into the work of the U.S. Defense Department's mysterious Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, also known as AATIP. Yes, documents acquired from Bigelow Aerospace, a private company contracted to conduct work on behalf of it, indicate the program studied UFOs and other apparent paranormal phenomenon. The company was founded in 1999 by hotel billionaire Bigelow, who's long held interest in the paranormal, including the mysterious Roswell incident in New Mexico. This is bizarre. The investigation teams were shown images of towering lights shooting skywards and mystery glowing emanating from surrounding hills. Mystery glowing. I don't know what that really means. Just weird glowing emanating from surrounding hills. Some have speculated the lights could be beacons used to help send messages to alien aircraft honing in on the ranch, which supernatural experts say ranks alongside the Bermuda Triangle in Area 51. They also have bizarre footage of a UFO traveling over the vast ranch at a speed not consistent with typical aircraft. My hope is that here at Skinwalker Ranch we get some answers, said Dr. Taylor. There's so many stories I want to find out. There is a story where a very large wolf came in off the plane. It put its head through a fence and started pulling at one of the calves. The Shermans went inside and got a weapon and came out and started shooting it point blank. The wolf then apparently ran off and vanished into thin air, sparking fears it could have been a mythical beast of American legend. Native American legend. What? The Skinwalker. Maybe it was. For centuries, the cursed region surrounding the area has been awash with stories of supernatural and unexplained things going on. It's been guarded 24/7 by an armed security. It takes its name from the shape-shifting demons which the Navajo tribes believed once prowled the plains. In February, the Pentagon admitted to holding and testing wreckage from USO crashes in a bombshell Freedom of Information letter seen by The Sun. Research, so they're saying that they have stuff from UFOs. They probably do. They probably still have the Roswell shit. Mm-hmm. Which, I don't know. Do we need to know? Not unless you have a conclusion, really.
Right.
I don't know. But I don't think they should lie about it. It was a stunning admission from the U.S. government, and the documents revealed that some of the retrieved debris possesses extraordinary capabilities, including potential to make things invisible or even slow down the speed of light.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. They have 154 pages of test results and includes reports on a mysterious memory metal called nitinol, which remembers its original shape when folded.
Whoa.
Wasn't there something like that as a toy as a kid, though? You could go like that, and it just... Maybe I imagined that. Maybe, yeah. In September 2019, this is what I'm saying, it just keeps coming out. The U.S. Navy finally admitted videos taken by pilots apparently showed encounters with UFOs in 2004 are real. 2 videos show 3 encounters between warplanes, and the Navy officially admitted were unidentified aerial phenomena. One video, well, we know these. First is... So, I'm just saying... I think the UFO thing is kind of overplayed, so I'm not going to go crazy on the Pubcast talking about it because it's been talked about by people who know it shitload more than me. But I do think the fact that all these videos are being released and all this stuff, I think they're going to tell us. In my lifetime, assuming I live to a normal age. Yeah, probably sooner than later, though. That's what I would say. I think that's it, termites. The other ones are too hard. I don't have anything silly to end on. So I'm just going to leave you with the thought of it. Skinwalker.
God.
I don't know if I told the story. Did I tell the Skinwalker story a long time ago? About the guy?
Originally, but...
Originally, I think I did. We went to Colorado, me and my parents and my sister and all those people that are in the family. And...
The people in
those
the
people,
family.
as my dad refers to us, you people, like he never met us, and we just showed up. This guy that worked at a ranch, we did one of those ranch tour type deals. It was not this ranch, it was not the Skinwalker Ranch. That's in Utah, we were in Colorado. But he said he knew a guy who encountered a Skinwalker, and the guy was so freaked out, like he left. He might have been there. I don't know. He left and went back to Colorado, and then I asked him what they are, and the Navajo people don't like to talk about it. They're like, it's just bad. It's the thing in their tribe. They don't want to talk about it. The legend is animals associated with witchcraft usually include tricksters, much like a fraudster, as coyotes. However, it includes other living creatures, usually those associated with death or bad omens. They might possess living animals. They also might pose as living animals or people and walk around in their bodies. Skinwalkers may be male or female. So they can turn into, an animal, and they can disappear. But you don't want to see one. And then apparently this guy told me if you do see one, now you're kind of on their radar, and you're going to keep seeing them.
Oh, God.
So I don't want to see one.
No.
Nope. Same reason I don't want to see a ghost, really. Because you never have a helpful ghost, Well, because people are always like, Ron White had to sign a thing on a house, a tiny little house he bought $1 million years ago on a lake in Texas. He had to sign off that he knew there was a ghost in the house. His name was Whitey. He was the town barber, because it had to be full disclosure. The house is haunted. Mm-hmm. But Whitey was like a pain in the ass. Like, he threw bread a lot.
Oh.
Bread would he liked it in the bread box. And Ron just accepted that. And one night I didn't do it.
Oh,
and
no.
I saw bread fly, not scoot, fly off the counter. And then I ran and jumped in his bed with him and his then wife. And I said, I don't even care if you're all having sex or anything. I'm not sleeping out there. Clothe up, folks. But Ron, you have to fully disclose that apparently these days on if you know the house is haunted. But he was just a pain in the ass. And Ron's like, he goes, well, the bread flew because I told you to put it in the bread box, and because Whitey doesn't like it out. And I was like, what the fuck are you living with? But it's not like you get home from vacation and come in your house and all your mail is there already open, and you went, oh, who did this? And then you hear a ghost goes, I did. Right. I hope you enjoyed your vacation. And I don't know why I just made him a leprechaun as well, but I did. So, yeah, Ron has good ghost stories about Whitey. But, like, sometimes he would close Ron's then wife in the laundry room.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's mean.
Fraudster.
Maybe he was gay.
trickster.
And he liked Ron.
He might, yeah, he could be an old gay guy that liked Ron. He wanted Ron all to himself. He just didn't do anything helpful. It was just, nicky-nacky bullshit things. So that's a good way to leave off, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that if your house is haunted, you have to tell people when you sell it? Mm-hmm. At least they were nice enough to say it, and he knew what to expect. He knew a lot about him, too. He researched the whole guy, and I'm like, well, if it was his house and he's not ready to leave, you just gonna have to live, put your bread in the bread box, Ron. Mm-hmm. I did not know that. No one told me. All right, termites, that's it. Episode 43 is now over. That doesn't mean the pub's necessarily closed. You can keep drinking.
Yeah.
My brother's coming. Probably start drinking with him whenever they roll into this driveway. Yeah.
Tickets on sale.
Oh my God.
The tour.
Talk about burying the lead. Well, as self-promotion. June 4th, tickets go on sale for everything that I will be doing till I'm dead.
No, till Christmas.
Till Christmas. Well, no, because things will be added. Mm-hmm. But on June 4th, but some of you guys already have tickets to some of this stuff. It's all very confusing. But here's how you can boil it down simply to right into a bar talk. Here's the thing. Go look at the list. If you've already bought tickets, thank you. If you have not and you see your city and you want to come, it will be available on June 4th for you to purchase. Hopefully all the ticket links will work correctly. Sometimes there's a couple that don't work right, and we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Don't start yelling at me. I don't even have anything to do with that. I mean, I like to be involved with like the artwork, but I don't know about how to do a link or any of that shit. And normally they're all fine. So the list is crazy. It's very long and it goes way into 2022. And if you see gaps, those will probably be filled in and then announced at a later time. But, this is just for what we have now.
What's the name of the tour?
And it's a lot. And it's called the Javani Ranch Tour, which I will have to give my sister's friends' kids
a t-shirt.
A t-shirt that I haven't made yet.
A yet to be done t-shirt.
I need a t-shirt design. Anybody want to go with that? I'm kidding. I have one. No, I have to give those two girls a poster and a t-shirt. I don't have a new, well, I will hopefully have a
and
new.
Some ranch, clearly.
And a new special to go with the ranch. Anyway, June 4th. Going everywhere. Everywhere. And that's it. I'm excited to be traveling again. Maybe not as much as I will be. But, you got to do what you got to do. I got to make up those dates. I promised you guys I wouldn't just not come back. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make up every goddamn date I had on there. And then we're going to start fresh with a whole new season. All right. That's it, termites. Remember, Hacks, Gene Smart, Jan, Hulu. And that's really it. Halston, if you're in for some delicious and you don't have to think very hard, it's really good.
Hope you had a good Memorial Day.
Yes, and I hope everybody had a safe. Let's be like the local news. I hope you had a safe and fun Memorial Day and got to see your next of kin.
Wow.
That's it, termites. Night-night.